He handed over a black card and they laughed. By the next morning, he cancelled a $8 billion deal without hesitation. Have you ever walked into a place where nothing has happened yet, but you can feel something is wrong? Not loud, not obvious, just a quiet signal that tells you trouble is close. That was the feeling the moment Darius Coltrane stepped into the lobby. It was a Thursday evening in Dallas, late spring. The sun was still out, hanging low in the sky, and the heat was mild for once. Warm enough to make you thankful for air conditioning, but not unbearable. Darius had just stepped out of a sleek black Escalade. His driver rolled his luggage behind him. He wore a tailored navy suit, matte brown shoes, no tie. Clean, sharp, comfortable, the kind of man whose money did not shout because it did not need to. He stood tall without trying, calm without effort, the type of presence people notice even before they understand why. The Lexington Tower sat in uptown Dallas, one of those high-end hotels where valet attendants greet guests by name and the front desk offers cold water before asking for ID. Glass chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Gold trim lined the walls. The air smelled of lemon polish and imported flowers. Darius was in town to finish a merger worth $8 billion with the Bentley Group. A deal that had taken nearly 2 years of careful talks, drafts, and quiet negotiations. This meeting was supposed to be the finish line, the final signature, the celebration dinner, the handshake photos, but the moment he entered the lobby, eyes followed him, not the respectful kind, not the impressed kind. It was confusion mixed with judgment. A white couple near the espresso bar looked up, paused, glanced at each other, then turned away whispering. A man in a plaid golf shirt nudged his friend and subtly pointed at Darius's luggage. The kind of looks people think you do not notice, the kind that never reach your ears but still find their way under your skin. Darius felt it, he always did. He had learned long ago how to recognize that feeling. Still, he kept moving forward, steady, calm, unbothered on the surface. He reached the front desk. The clerk looked up from her computer. She was young, maybe mid-20s, auburn hair pulled into a ponytail. Name tag clipped slightly crooked, chewing gum like she thought no one could tell. Hi, checking in, she said. Yes, Darius replied with a polite smile. Reservation under Darius Coltrane. She clicked on her keyboard, eyes moving across the screen. He glanced around the lobby. He had stayed in luxury hotels across the world. Seoul, Zurich, Johannesburg. On paper, this place belonged in that group. But something felt different here, colder, and it had nothing to do with the air conditioning. All right, Mr. Coltrane, she said finally, I'll need a credit card and your ID. Darius reached into his wallet and handed her his American Express Centurion card, the black card, solid metal, no spending limit. Invitation only, something most people only see in photos. The moment she saw it, she paused, then she laughed, not a small breath of air, a real laugh, one she could not stop fast enough. Oh wow, okay, she said, her lips curling into a smirk. You really carry one of these around? The way she said it made it sound fake, like a prop, like something bought online. Darius blinked slowly. Patient, calm, not angry, not shocked. He had lived this moment before. Not here exactly, but versions of it. He waited. She said nothing else. Is there a problem? He asked evenly. She shrugged. No, just haven't seen many of these come through here. Usually it's, executives. Behind him, someone laughed softly. A nasal chuckle. The man in the plaid shirt again. Darius turned his head slightly. The man quickly looked away. Darius turned back to the clerk, who was now watching him closely, waiting for approval. For embarrassment, for something. Instead, Darius reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone and made a call. Yeah, it's me. He said, no, don't go in yet. Cancel the room block. Call Raymond. Tell him the merger is off. There was a pause on the line. All of it, the voice replied quietly. Every part, Darius said. He ended the call, leaned forward slightly, and looked directly at the clerk. I'll stay somewhere else. He turned, rolled his luggage behind him, and walked out through the revolving doors. Smooth, controlled, silent. Behind him, the lobby felt different. The air shifted. Something heavy settled in the space he left behind. The assistant manager, Kelsey Durham, had been watching from near the business center. She had noticed the tone of the exchange, even if she did not hear the words. She moved too late. The man in the navy suit was already gone. She rushed to the desk. What just happened? The clerk, Megan, twirled her pen. Some guy tried to check in with a fake Centurion card or something. He got weird when I asked him about it. Kelsey narrowed her eyes. A fake Centurion card. That's what it looked like. Megan shrugged. Those cards aren't just handed out. He didn't even seem like. She stopped herself. Kelsey's voice dropped. Did you ask for another form of payment? No, he just made a call and left, like he was important. Megan laughed lightly, probably bluffing. Kelsey stared at her for a moment, then pulled out her tablet. She typed quickly. Her jaw tightened. His name was Darius Coltrane. Kelsey said, "Yes." Megan replied, "That's what he said." Kelsey turned the screen around. A VIP profile filled the display. Platinum status, founder and CEO of Lucent Applied Technologies, one of the most powerful tech firms in the country, net worth estimated well over $1 billion. Megan, Kelsey said quietly, that card was real, and he was not just someone. He was the reason the entire Bentley Group was staying here this weekend. Megan blinked. Wait, he's the one leading the Bentley merger? Yes, Kelsey replied. The one that was about to bring nearly $30 million in long-term contracts to this hotel chain. Megan's mouth opened. No words came out. He just canceled everything. Kelsey said. She did not wait for a reply. She turned and walked quickly toward the elevators. Up in the penthouse suite, 3 Bentley Group executives were reviewing presentation decks for the morning meeting. Howard Lynn, the coup, sipped club soda. Trina Menz, general counsel, scrolled through emails. Dev Shah, CFO, had his sleeves rolled up, trying to relax. A sharp knock hit the door. Trina opened it. Kelsey stood there, tense. "I think we have a serious problem," she said. Howard looked up. "What kind of problem? Mr. Coltrane is gone." Dev frowned. "Gone where?" "He left the hotel, cancelled his stay, said the merger is off." Silence filled the room. "Off?" Trina repeated. "What happened?" "There was an incident at the front desk." Kelsey said, "One of our employees mishandled his check-in." Dev set his glass down slowly. "What kind of mishandling?" She questioned his card, mocked him in front of other guests. Howard straightened. "You mean she profiled him?" Kelsey did not answer. Trina stared at her tablet. "This is catastrophic." Howard rubbed his temples. "Do you understand what message this sends? PR will tear this apart," Trina said. Dev paced. "He won't make noise. He doesn't need to. His silence will do more damage than a press conference." And they all knew it. Back downstairs, Megan remained at the front desk, but the confidence she had earlier was gone. Her shoulders were tense now. A bellhop named Andre, who had seen everything but stayed quiet, finally stepped closer. He lowered his voice. "That man you laughed at. People like him don't forget." Megan said nothing. Andre continued, "I've watched guests lose their minds over towels or room views. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He just decided this place wasn't worth his time. That's not weakness. That's power." Megan swallowed. For the first time her eyes showed unease. Outside, Darius did not go far. Just across the street, he checked into a smaller boutique hotel called the Bishop House. No chandeliers, no gold trim, no forced smiles. Just quiet service and respect. That was enough. He sat on the edge of the bed, the city humming faintly through the window. The call he made earlier was already setting things in motion. His chief of operations, Raymond, would have cleared the meeting rooms by now. By morning, everyone at Bentley Group would be scrambling for answers. That was intentional. Darius did not make emotional decisions. He had built Lucent Applied from nothing, from a shared office in Tulsa to a global company operating across 4 continents. Every move was calculated. Even silence was a strategy. He looked at the black card resting in his hand, heavy, cold, a symbol that meant everything to some people and nothing to others. His phone buzzed. "Raymond, you want me to fly in?" "No," Darius replied. "Just handle the numbers. I'm done talking." Raymond understood. Another message came in. His sister Camille. "I heard you pulled the plug. You okay?" Darius stared at the screen. Thought about explaining, about telling her that no matter how many deals you close, someone will still think you don't belong. Instead, he typed, "Just tired." Camille replied, "Get rest. Don't let this harden you." He set the phone down. No anger, no tears, just a deep ache, the kind that lives quietly inside you, old, familiar. The next morning, the Lexington's executive conference floor sat empty, the walnut table untouched, name cards perfectly aligned. Coffee untouched, no loosened team, no assistants, no Darius. Howard Lynn paced the room. "If he doesn't show in 10 minutes, we've lost him." Trina did not look up from her phone. She read aloud. "Effective immediately, Lucent Applied Technologies is withdrawing from the Bentley merger. We will not be rescheduling negotiations. The matter is closed." Dev leaned back. "That's it." Howard stopped pacing. 30 months gone. "He doesn't owe us anything," Trina said. "Not after yesterday." Dev nodded. "This will ripple. Shareholders will panic. Media by lunch." "He's not loud," Trina added. "He's precise." At the Bishop House, Darius sat across from Raymond in a private lounge. "They're scrambling," Raymond said. "Good. You know this will hurt us too." Raymond added, "I know." Darius said, "Values cost something." Raymond hesitated. "This is personal." "It's personal and it's business," Darius replied. Raymond did not argue. By noon, blogs started posting. One headline read, "Did racism kill a historic tech deal?" The hotel released a statement about investigations and retraining. "They're not sorry," Darius said quietly. "They're scared." Back at the Lexington, Megan sat across from HR and legal. Her voice shook. "I didn't know the card was real." Susan Tramble, regional director, stared at her. "You didn't check. You mocked a guest, publicly." "I didn't think. That's the problem," Susan said. "You didn't think." By afternoon, the story exploded online. A tweet went viral. A black CEO was laughed at over his own card. The next morning, he cancelled a $3.8 billion deal. Millions of views. Thousands of replies. People shared stories. Airports, stores, hotels, boardrooms. Darius watched none of it. Saturday morning, he stood in a small community center in South Dallas. No cameras, no press. Just students, interns, young professionals. He spoke calmly. "Power isn't shouting. Power is knowing when to leave." The room was silent. "I canceled that deal because respect matters more than money," he said. "If someone laughs at you, they will never respect you." After the talk, a young woman approached. "My dad said you walked away like a king." Darius nodded. "Tell him thank you." That night, he sat in his office watching the sun set. Camille texted again. "They heard you." Darius leaned back, calm, steady, because sometimes the strongest message is not spoken, it is felt. The silence that followed Darius's decision was louder than any press conference could have been. He did not post, he did not tweet, he did not explain himself, and that quiet choice made people uncomfortable. Analysts filled the gap with speculation, commentators argued on panels, executives whispered behind closed doors. Everyone wanted a reaction, and the lack of one only made the story grow. At the Lexington, the damage spread quickly. Meetings were called back to back. Lawyers spoke in careful language. Brand managers worried about sponsors. A phrase kept appearing in internal emails: reputational exposure. It meant they were bleeding in a way money could not fix quickly. Andre, the bellhop, watched it all unfold from the sidelines. He had worked there 6 years. He had seen celebrities demand silence. He had seen athletes throw fits. He had never seen someone walk away with that kind of control. That image stayed with him. He posted a short message online. "I watched a man get disrespected in silence. He didn't yell. He didn't argue, he just left, and by morning the building felt smaller. The post spread faster than he expected. People commented with their own stories. Being followed in stores, being questioned in offices, being laughed at in places where money was supposed to be the equalizer. It stopped being about a hotel. It became about recognition. Across town, Darius sat at his desk at Lucent headquarters. No suit, no tie, just a light sweater and rolled sleeves. His phone buzzed non-stop. He ignored most of it. He opened a document on his laptop and began typing slowly. He was not writing for reporters. He was writing for people who had lived that moment and never had the leverage to walk away. He paused, looked out the window, thought about Midwest City, Oklahoma, about the small house, about his father's garage, about his mother counting bills at the kitchen table. He remembered being 17, sitting on the porch with a scholarship rejection letter in his hand. He remembered his mother sitting beside him, saying the road would not be fair, but it would still be his. He remembered his first job interview where they asked if he was in the right room. He remembered board meetings where people assumed he was there to take notes. He remembered how often silence was mistaken for weakness. And he remembered learning when silence could be power. By Friday evening, major networks picked up the story. The headlines varied, but the message stayed the same. A billionaire CEO canceled a historic deal after being mocked during a hotel check-in. Darius watched one clip. The anchor spoke carefully. While Mr. Coltrane has not made a statement, sources say the incident has sparked widespread discussion about bias in luxury spaces. He muted the television. He did not need them to explain it. Saturday morning, he stood in front of that small crowd again. No lights, no makeup, just folding chairs and open faces. "I want to be clear," he said calmly. "This isn't about a credit card. It's about dignity." People leaned forward. "There are moments when you realize staying is more expensive than leaving," he continued, "and if you let people laugh at you where you stand, they will never respect you when you sit at the table." A young man in the back nodded slowly. "I didn't cancel that deal out of anger," Darius said. "I canceled it because values matter, and if someone shows you who they are early, believe them." The room stayed quiet. "Some of you will be underestimated," he added. "Some of you already have been. That does not mean you shrink. It means you build something so solid that when you walk away, they feel it." After the session, people lined up. No selfies, no shouting. Just handshakes and thank yous. One student said, "I thought power meant proving them wrong." Darius smiled gently. "Sometimes power is deciding they don't deserve the proof." That evening, back at Lucent, Raymond walked into the office holding a tablet. "They're still scrambling," he said. "Bentley stock dipped. Hotel partners are nervous." Darius nodded. "That's expected." "You sure you don't want to release a statement?" Raymond asked, just to control the narrative. Darius leaned back. "The narrative is already written. They just didn't like the ending." Raymond laughed quietly, then grew serious. "You changed something." "I hope so," Darius replied. Across the city, Megan sat alone in her apartment, scrolling through headlines. She saw his face on the screen, calm, controlled, not angry. That made it worse. She replayed the moment again and again. The laugh, the smirk, the way she assumed. She realized something too late. Power does not always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like patience. Monday morning, Lucent released a short message. No blame, no names, just one sentence. "We choose partners who respect people before profit." It spread everywhere. Business schools discussed it. Leadership panels debated it. HR departments forwarded it. The Lexington issued another apology, this one longer, more careful. It mentioned training, it mentioned diversity, it mentioned accountability. But the damage had already settled. Darius received one last message from Camille. "Proud of you. You didn't raise your voice. You raised the standard." He smiled. He closed his laptop and stood. The city lights blinked on outside. Somewhere, someone was walking into a room feeling that same familiar tension, that quiet doubt, that look, and maybe because of this story, they would remember something. That leaving is also a choice. That dignity is worth more than approval. That silence, when used right, can echo louder than words, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away without explaining yourself and let the world feel exactly what it lost.